1 2 mic check. 1 2.
Jalal, hii ni orchestra ya Veve.
Mic check.
Verkiski ya Muungana Mateta wa Zolombongo.
Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa Wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. Lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy. Forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Mwingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Which mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, which ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe msewa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa Wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. Lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy. Forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Which mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, which ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe msewa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa Wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara, na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za kampeni. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy. Forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of the Center for Enhancing Democracy and Good Governance and the Baringo Civil Society Organizations Forum and all our partners, I warmly welcome all of us to join in this Facebook Live. My name is Janet Nandwa Ongoli, and I have the privilege to be moderating today's discussion. Our conversation is guided by a very simple but a very important question: which way Baringo? As we prepare for elections in 2027, we want to challenge ourselves as citizens to think beyond personalities and ask what kind of politics will truly deliver services and development for the people of Baringo. Should our choices be driven by age? Should it be driven by regional balance? Should it be driven by identity? Or by issues, integrity, competence, character, commitment, or public service? Tonight is not about endorsing any individual or political parties. It is about encouraging informed, respectful, and citizen-centered dialogue. We also invite those online to actively participate in sharing the comments and questions throughout the discussion. With that, allow me to welcome our distinguished panelists, and I will begin from my farthest left. Please introduce yourself and tell us, which way Baringo?
Thank you very much, Janet. My name is Tom Jepsoy. I work with CAS Media Group and also an affiliate member of BACSOF, the civil society in Baringo County. And it's a privilege to join you tonight in discussing where we go. Initially, when we parted from the Senate, because Baringo County, we were lucky to have the Senate by-election. 2027 looked like it was far, yes, but now it's here. Yeah. And you've asked a very good question. Do we base the leaders that want to elect in 2027 on issue-based or identity-based? Yeah. That is, in terms of where do you come from, in terms of region, in terms of who are you, the personality, where have you been, all that kind of scenarios. It's all part and package of leadership. But if you ask me, I would go for issue-based because that's national. It promotes national unity and prosperity. And number two, I will go for issue-based and affirmative for the minority. As the ideology of the majority have their say and minority have their way is, as much as you are the majority, you can be elected, but at the same time you stick by the rules, respect the minority can have their say, but at the same time respect their rights and of course their identity. Thank
you so much. Just to banter, how does it feel to be on that side of the stage today?
It's good you asked that question. I now understand sometimes when you call panelists to come to your debate, they don't usually come, yeah, because it's so awkward to be on the other side. It feels so comfortable to be on your side. It's good it's usually good to be the referee, and when the player fouls, you say no, you messed up, and award penalties and the agony of the other team. But it's also good to have the two ways so that I feel the pinch, and I can tell you, it is very warm in this side.
It is warm on that side. Welcome to that side, and I hope you know the rules of the game. Thank you so much. Luck. Thank you so much. Next on the only lady in the panelist.
Okay, thank you, Janet. My name is Lillian Kiptui. I'm a civic educator and also a budget champion, Kapropita Award. To me, I would say that we have been doing politics based on maybe that regional politics, doing about clanism and all that. But to me, I believe going by the issue-based politics is the best way, because we will deal with our development issues. starting from health, water, roads, employment. So I believe that if we can actually have our issues aligned with the development, we are going to have a better Baringo.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone would ask, is minority not an issue, for example?
Yeah, it is an issue because of marginalization, but also I think if we go about marginalization more, we have the aspect of inclusivity, the aspect of equity, and all that. So I believe with that, the resources will eventually get there. Yes.
Thank you so much. Next to me.
Thank you for having me. By name, I'm Jackton Kimtai Cheriot. People like calling me Kim. I come from Kabarnet Ward. I'm a resident of Kabarnet, and I'm a community leader, as it were. I've been in many circles, but let me say I'm a community leader. On the issue at hand, as we approach 2027, the magical 2027, as Baringo, we are at a crossroads. Why? Because the current trend is that people are moving more towards identity as opposed to issues. If we were to vote as at now, people may opt to go for the very many animals that have been named currently. Because all over we have goats, we have wild animals, because people want to identify with specific lines of thought. And I think that is not right. So what I think is that we should approach, because we have a lot of issues that are pertinent in Baringo, and those are the things that we should be driving us. As we move forward, we have a lot of issues touching especially on the youth. And we cannot have the youth benefiting if we don't look critically at the issues that obtain in our society. So personally, I advocate strongly for issue-based politics. As much as we have our identities, there is some small space for identity. For example, my brother talked of marginalized people. That's the space because we have to bring in affirmative action. That is an issue that we need to bring on board so that we can capture the marginalized communities into the issues that we want to discuss. So let us focus, let's stay focused, because the way things are going, we even have another issue that's cropping up, the issue of biscuits. So if we are not very careful, we might lose out. So we need to be very careful going forward.
Thank you so much. And just to take it from where you've left, you've said Baringo County is diverse, and we have both animals that are domesticated and the wild animals. How do we balance the legitimate desire for regional representation with the urgent need for competent leadership and effective service delivery? Is it possible to have both?
My take is it's possible to have both because you know it's a constitutional right. Representation is a constitutional right for each and every one of us. So when we come to region, because for example, if you say you come from Tiati, it goes without saying you would be Pokot. If you come from maybe Baringo South, you're either Ilchamus or Indorois or Atugen. So those issues will come out. That identity will have to come out at some point in time. But we need to balance out. As much as you come from that region, are you capable? Do you have the competence required? Do you have the ability to take Baringo to the next level? Do you have the accountability that we so much lack? Can you give us accountability so that we can move Baringo forward? Because I was looking at the Controller of Budget reports, the third quarter report, and I was wondering now, all our leaders seem to have slept because we are ranking very poorly in terms of absorption, and then we are leading in terms of absorption in the wrong sense. If we go towards absorption of recurrent, we are very high, but at development, we are doing, I think we are number 5 nationally on the lower side, not on the upper side, on the lower side. So I think it's important that we look at these issues critically and strike a balance. But be that as it may, let us see how we can incorporate the marginalized into the discussion we are having. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lillian, Jackton is
Yes.
telling us being a woman is not enough. Being youth is not enough. Being from a minority group is not enough. What are you bringing on the table? As youth, are we represented adequately? And are we at the decision-making tables?
Okay, to that I can say that it is actually partially no, partially yes. We can have youth yes at some leadership positions, but at times we feel that those positions are not enough. Considering that you will find that they will say, you are now a youth. Are you married for you to qualify to sit in this seat? How do you manage your family for you to come and manage us as a community? So I can say that is where, and also that goes for women. I can say that are you really with you? Are you living with your family, like starting from your husband and all that? So to me, I can say that that is something that has really affected us, and I think it is actually a normalization of how we take things, and I can call it a retrogressive culture. Yeah. I think a leader is someone who is competent, someone who has integrity, someone who can deliver. We can see from whatever this person has actually performed in the past. It is about also the way they provide services, the way they can relate with people, not about the age, not about you being a woman or being anything else. And I can also say that youth are not that much represented when it comes to maybe representation or involvement in budget processes, or I can say public participation for us when it comes to maybe policy makings and all that. So it is actually not, we cannot say that youth are being left out, but also it is actually their role, or I can say it is something they should come out themselves to participate in these platforms for their voices to be heard, for them to raise their issues and all that. So it is actually no, and it is also yes. Yeah.
Just a follow-up question. Are the youth interested? Are the youth aggressive enough? Do the youth want these positions?
I can say yes, and also I can say no. Considering also the fact that I'll put that in quotes that it is very expensive for one to campaign. And for a youth to have that capital, or I can say finance, because you see it is like business, it is quite difficult. So for them, you will need a real good backup for you to actually campaign, for you to actually go and you qualify for that maybe seat. So I can say it is also about the way the society has actually normalized the way we do our politics in a manner that you have to have something for you to drive these people to see you. So this is something that has made youth to, it has actually discouraged, I can say that. And I can say there are those who can stand and say, now I am a youth, I have nothing, but this is what I bring, this is what I have. I'm a good leader, and I can represent well through whatever I've done. They can give examples of the way they have been engaging in their communities and all that. And eventually they get there.
Thank you so much. Chepsoi, beyond manifesto, what are some of these qualities that you want to see in a leader that would deliver on a complete development project and service delivery?
Janet, before I come to your question, there's something Kim actually suggested earlier, and it's a reality here. In 2027, Baringo County, in from where I sit politically, the issue of identity and the regional blocks where you come from. The conversation now is about Aroro wamechukua ikiti mara tatu. Yeah? Tubadilishe raundi hii. Yeah? Ugali imekaa, tumesikia harufu kutoka upande ile mwingine kwa muda mrefu since 2010. almost 15 years. So I think this time round, na mumeona, the conversation. Kenyans are very, very intelligent people, and they they follow up on events, particularly those who are interested. Kenyans are mostly politically educated, more educated politically, but sometimes they can make some very interesting decisions, however much they understand politics. So the issue of tutoe kiti pande yende pande ile ingine, you can't avoid that conversation, and as where we sit and what Kim is saying, there are some things you practically you might really not try to manage to make it all. It's because of the perception that has happened before, that kiti inaweza enda Rift Valley na iende kwa mlima, and we can play around and kiti see. There are some rivers in politics that the seat was not supposed to cross, but those are political myths. But it is informed by the political history of some countries or setups. Let's say, for example, the Nigerian politics of the northern part of Fulani and the southern and southwest and southeast of Nigeria. Actually, it's not based on constitution. Kim will tell you, it's not based on constitution. It is political convention, power rotation or zoning kind of way, because they want to mitigate an incident that had happened before. Like for Nigeria, the civil war actually pushed Nigeria for many years until 1999. Kim will tell you, when Sani Abacha was overthrown and Obasanjo came in and the other presidents subsequently followed. It's because of that mental. It's not written in Nigeria. If you are to be elected as president, you have to have the majority of the people electing you, and of course, because they have states, some state, I don't know how many they are in Nigeria, around 25%, almost like similar to Kenyan perspective. You must have at least 25% of some states. But then again, the issue of that political convention has never moved from Nigeria. It's not written anywhere, but it is a political convention that people need to survive. Because if you don't really put a mechanism of how to manage people, they will veer off the road and decide on how to survive, because this is politics is a way of life. So if you, from this perspective, I still go back to one, we can still elect this individual based on issues. However south or southeast or north where it comes from, we can still elect this person by the majority on what you ask me. Pragmatism, charisma, and intellectual capacity on how to manage finance or how to manage finance, because mostly these counties are not the same. If you look at Moranga and you look at Baringo County, we might not be performing probably like competitively, like together, like in the same class. So that means this personality that we want to elect in Baringo County should be person above board. However, where you come from, you must meet the minimum qualification, chapter 6 and the other chapters, 43 of protecting children and human, and 42 I think is protecting about and respecting the law. Yeah. So if you ask me, for Baringo County, apart from those legitimate issues, you must also be considerate of what Kim said. There are communities here, the Nubian communities, and they are with us. The El Chamus community, and they are with us. The other minority groups who are here, and they're part of Baringo County. Where do you put them? It's through affirmative action. If Kim is elected as governor, I like the way, I know Kim is conversant with this. Kim is conversant with county councils. During the county councils, because I covered it before it went off, during the county councils, if I'm elected the chairman of the county council, the minority party, because these parties were there, because democracy had came here in the 1992, so they were there were other parties. DP could emerge from nowhere, just like a mushroom from the middle of nowhere. So what will happen is, if the county council chair is from the majority party, he picks his deputy from the minority party. And interestingly, if they pick the chairman to be from the majority party, they pick the from the minority party as a finance chair. Yes. If it is Nakuru, because I was in Nakuru, because I joined Nakuru in 2007, Nakuru County Council, the chairman was from Kikuyu community. And Kalenjin community had 4 councillors out of around 50. You know what they did as a county council? They pick a Kalenjin as a chairman finance. So without, like, this guy might bring might take over from power. So I think it is still possible to still manage democracy and still promote checks and balances within ourselves and within how we manage ourselves.
Thank you so much, Chepsoy, and thank you for the history. You're making us guess how old you are.
No, not at all. I'm just reading these things. I'm not that old.
Anyway, thank you so much. Jackton,
Yes.
what are the major obstacles preventing the shift from identity-based politics and issue-based politics in Baringo County?
In Baringo, the move from issue-based politics from identity-based politics to issue-based politics. Basically, the key ingredient to the greatest obstacle is party affiliation. I'll put it in black and white, that is party affiliation. Because if once we sort our nominations, for example, in this case now we are talking of UDA, once we sort the party nominations, even if you have the best papers on earth, when you come along, people are just like, okay, you are very good, but sisi tunataka kuchunga serikali yetu. So that is where we fail, and that loyalty is bad. There is also another loyalty, now that is party loyalty. There is also regional loyalty. We are loyal to our people. I like what Chepsoy is saying, putting across the Aror factor. When we started this third county government, after the Aror got the position, around 2023, there was one of the prominent sons of the Aror nation told us, now Aror, we don't want this thing anymore. We are giving it to the rest of Baringo. Little did we know that he was preparing room for the Arors to strategize. The Arors have come back stronger, and now they have their own. And you see the funny thing about Baringo, some of these communities are strategically placed. Like, for example, when you talk of the Aror, you'll find the Aror in Baringo North. That is their headquarters. You'll find them in Baringo South. You'll find them in Mogotio. You'll find them in Ravine. And of course, the headquarters, Baringo Central, they are there. You'll have pockets of them also in Tiati. So when these guys make any decision, they know what they are doing. So they told us, we are leaving it to you. So Central, can you guys strategize? Give us a candidate. What they wanted to know is, they wanted to know the weaknesses of the candidate from Central, so that they start poking holes very early. So that by the time it reaches 2027, they'll have sorted us out. These guys are very good at management. So that is another critical thing that really messes up things. The other thing is political divisions. Politicians don't want us to move out of this issue, the existing political setup. That is why they'll come up with a lot of stories. You see now, like Baringo now, we are torn between two of the blocks. There is the Murkomen, Sudi, Kiborek axis. There is the Mandago, Cheruyot, Simba axis, and the
four cousins.
The four cousins. And all this, we are playing their game. Along the way, everybody tells you we report to Mkubwa. Everybody tells you, if you use my line, we'll reach to the head of state. So we don't know, now we are torn. So we are no longer even interested in knowing if we'll get water in Baringo North or in Central. We are no longer interested. We are only interested in who will reach there. Yes. Who is the guy who can make us reach home? You saw it when we were doing the Senate elections, the by-election. It came out very clearly. It reached the point where it was like, who is the guy who will take us to State House? It was like, these other guys don't have the gate. Yeah, the keys to the gate, they don't have it. Yes, they'll not cross. The River Jordan is locked. Atari maneno. So that is where we are, and that is something that the politicians have perfected in Baringo. They really don't want us to focus on issues. And that is why, you see, immediately our senator was elected, we started seeing biscuits floating around Cabernet. We never used to have them.
On day one.
On day one, he made sure that after his address, he could take people somewhere and give them biscuits. That was unheard of. And then now it's become a trend. Anytime he comes home, that is what happens. So, do you think we'll discuss issues anymore? We'll be waiting for the biscuits.
Thank you, Kim. And
I hope that biscuit has soda, or is it biscuit only?
I don't know.
I want to remind us that today's session is not to endorse anyone or endorse any political party. So Kim's opinion are his,
My own.
and you will take account for them. Thank you, Kim. And nobody is putting you on the spot.
No, we are only sharing.
Exactly.
I hope we are sharing.
We are sharing,
in good faith.
absolutely. These are safe space. Lillian, the generational change that has been witnessed in the near past. Just a number, is it just a number game aimed at getting younger people into office? Or is it about fundamental shift of politics, just of how politics is done and has been done in the past?
Okay. To me, I see that generational change is more about transparency. It is more about service delivery. It is more about accountability. It is more about how issues are being addressed by these leaders. Considering that you have seen so many protests, and these protests are about transparency. It's about accountability. It's about how leaders actually deliver services to the citizens. So I can say it is not about maybe age or the way, but I think it is actually a change in everything. It is about a time whereby I think this generation has woken up and said, how have we progressed since all these years? What are we supposed to do to change Kenya, to change Baringo? How are we going to make these leaders to be accountable, to actually be transparent, to actually offer services that are actually of, maybe I can say, better services in health, water, roads, and all that. And you consider that employment issues is actually something that is a major issue that is affecting the youth. So if you are going to tell these people that actually you are coming here and you are not talking anything about employment, it is like telling them you are not existing. Yeah.
What is different from the generational change now and the generational change we had in 1992? Those were youth fighting for their spaces. What is different with the generational change in 1988? What is different now? Is it technology? Is it the constitution? Is it the fact that we have the power of the keyboard? What is different from this generational change and that generational change?
I can say that we have a generation whereby to them, they fear nothing. I can say that. So starting from actually the way they are actually, I can say they are much aware of their rights. They are much aware of the current issues, and they are not afraid to speak out their voices. They know how to actually not that much to how to express themselves and actually raise their voices. I can say in the past, people used to actually, I'll just put like a traditional decorum whereby you respect your elders to an extent that you are not even allowed to challenge them or speak your voice in a manner that you feel that it has offended them. But to this generation that we are now at, it is actually, I can say, there are people whom they don't fear. They don't have that fear. They can speak their hearts out. They can say whatever they think without any kind of, I can say, intimidation or any kind of thinking that they will actually get hurt or anything like that. So to them, they are actually focusing on, what do we want? What did we go out there to say? What took us to these streets? What is this thing that we want to do? What is this thing that we want to change? Yes.
Thank you so much.
I think
I was coming to you. I was coming to you. I'm sure you went to the streets at some point in
Yes.
the generational change.
Yes.
You ate tear gas, and you were sometimes you were given state accommodation, or if not you,
My
your
peers.
peers. So tell me, what is the difference between the current generational change and the then generational change?
I think number one was the constitutional space. During our time, these rights you are enjoying did not exist. These rights came in 2010 when we passed the 2010 constitution. During our time, you fought for your space without any protection of any law. There was no legal protection for anything you do. If, for example, you are shot, I remember when we were in college, several of my colleagues were shot dead. God forbid, if you are shot, that was the end of the matter. Ulikuwa unasumbua serikali. So, because the constitution then was something else, it was an animal. That is why we fought for this constitution for very long. So that now you can enjoy rights. You can go picket, you can go demonstrate, you can demand that now because you killed us in the year 2024, for example, you want in the year 2026, you want to be given freedom to march and to demonstrate and show that you are not satisfied with what happened in 2024. During our time, once you are knocked, you are knocked. Story yako imeisha. During our time, we didn't have technology. You know, Janet, just to bring you into perspective, during our time, if you had a meeting of 5 or more persons, even if you are seated in a hotel, 5 or more, that was already a crime. Yeah, because the constitution did not envisage a situation where you would have a meeting of more than 5 people. What would you be discussing? That would be treason. So the space that these guys are enjoying, when they say they are very bold, no, it's not that they are bold. These guys are bold, yes, but we were also bold. Now, the circumstances that we were in were worse. Mm-hmm. It's only if we were given this same space, Kenya ingeungua kitambo. So we are thanking God that He delayed the process of the constitution, the passing of the constitution, so that other people would enjoy. And then these guys also have the advantage of technology. Mm-hmm. If guys can mobilize themselves without knowing each other via social media, and they organize fora all over the country, you know, that is something that is really, during our time it was unthought of, that you can organize a meeting in Kabarnet, another one in Nairobi, another one in Mombasa, simultaneously. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, the biggest challenge we had then when we come to technology was we were relying on the Kenya Post and Telecommunications Corporation, Posta. Alafu, what used to happen was the Post and Telecommunication, all calls were recorded. So they know if you make more than 5 calls from your number, that number is tracked, and you are taken to those very good houses that nowadays they issue passports from there. But initially they never used to issue passports. They used to serve other purposes. So it's only a matter of time, and technology has helped these people. But we are really proud of them because even in Baringo, they are taking up their space. We are seeing the youth wanting positions. The youth want a women rep position. The youth want a governor position. The youth want a senator position. The youth want MP positions. The youth want MCA positions. That is progress. During our time, that was unheard of. Hatunaenda kushindana na Meya Chelagat. Haya. Uheshimu wazee. So
let's speak it from there, Chepsoi. Kuheshimu wazee. The youth right now are speaking their voices, and there is a very thin line between respect and speaking out. What do you think? Are the youth lacking respect, or they're just being youth?
It's a thin line in between there. Let me pick it from what Kim just said. It's not that I agree with what Kim is saying. The free space that we have now and then is totally unbelievably trying to put it all together. You know, the issue of technology, Janet, has really, and this I will give it to what has happened so far, and allowing the internet to just come in. Before then, maybe you might not know that there was only one radio station called KBC, Radio Taifa, Baba na Mama.
yes.
That you just And it was not allowed by government to, there were no proliferation of airwaves. It just came in the year 2000, I think, somewhere there. And it limited a lot of things. But the agitation by the youth is naturally, if you ask me, it's because of under a lot of pressure. A lot of things are not moving the way it should be moving. The number of students that we're releasing every year from high school to colleges to university, it is overbearing. That pressure is palpable. You can feel the pressure from down there. So if you're standing in between food and life, I can tell you that barricade can be easily broken, because if Janet is standing between what I perceive, what I think it is greener on the other side, trust me. Even in the Bible, it's written there were kuna wale wakoma, and they knew there's food on the other side, and that rumble. The other guys thought it is a serious military coming into board. It is because of that agitation of imagining that there is better life on the other side. And that better life is, I have seen it. If you see this generational way of changing leadership, I think people also get fatigued with the traditions. You know, when I was young, some members of parliament, I don't want to mention names, they were members of parliament. And there's people understand and they see, hey bro, I think you're getting tired. You're no longer fresh. And when you become repetitive and repeating what people, you know, when you start telling people that, you know, you know, it's not fresh. You know, come on guys, can you give me something? I think that's the word, is give me something. So the barrier between the old and the now generation is, bro, we respect. Kalenjin are regimental. Majority of us are regimental. Kim is my Bamwai is Kablelach. There are some protocol and that really gives me authority not to really overstep in his way. But at the same time, it also gives me a say in the meeting. In Kalenjin meetings, when you say something and it is not meeting the quorum, you understand what I'm saying? Unaambiwa kalia teben, because you're not really coming out so nicely and you're not giving us fresh ideas. So you're told, okay, yeah, it is not very bad, but you can hold on into it. Let's give Kiptui, because he looks like he has something fresh. When you add a new flavor in this food, and this is leadership, the young generation feel like, I think you guys, you're going in a slow pace. Can we add momentum? Yes. Yeah, so I think it's about the momentum. It's about the youth have actually seen, and even the agitation of the budget bill in 2024 was like, nafikiri mumenyanyaza wazazi wetu sana. And you know, because this young generation realize our parents are regimental. They follow order and instruction. And these youth are saying, hey boss, I think you've abused these people because of their gentleness, their kindness. So I think that urge is coming out. And I will encourage some young leaders. President Barack Obama became the first black president, and he was young, 40 years, I think. So it's still possible. Even Christ was one of the first prophets at 30 years. So it is possible. These issues of leadership is not new. Mm-hmm. It's not new. It began long time ago. Even David killed a big man called Goliath. And it was a little boy from the heart. Yeah.
Are you foreseeing a Kenya where we would have a house, for example, parliament, yeah, with 2/3 youth?
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible.
Lillian,
it's like Jan.
Are you foreseeing a Baringo County Assembly with 50% youth?
Yeah, very possible.
Are you foreseeing a Senate with 50% youth?
It's highly possible. Mm-hmm. If the youth strategize. Okay. It's just a matter of strategy.
Okay.
Because the key impediment to all this, you have the numbers, but mm-hmm, when you don't go seeking for the voters registration, yeah, you don't register as voters, you'll be shouting in the streets. And then the Wazis will be voting. Very and then you'll see who will win. So it's very important that the youth strategize so that their numbers can count.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And on that note, allow me to call us to a break. We are going to go for 10 minutes or 15 minutes break. Then we come back and continue with the conversation of which way Baringo. Thank you so much.
uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara, na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy. Forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Which mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, which ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation, yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe msewa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. Lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara, na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy. Forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Which mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, which ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation, yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe msewa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. Lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara, na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy. Forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Which mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, which ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe mse wa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya, lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy, forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, which ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe mse wa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya, lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy, forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, which ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe mse wa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya, lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy, forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu, ni uongo mtupu. Mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation, yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe mse wa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. Lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy, forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu, ni uongo mtupu. Mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation, yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe mse wa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. Lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy, forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu, ni uongo mtupu. Mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation, yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information, alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake, hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So, before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe msewa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya, lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara, na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy, forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation, yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information, alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake, hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So, before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe msewa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya, lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio uzisome. Maji, kazi, barabara, na hata sijaongelea t-shirts watu wamevaa za campaign. Alafu simu yako ina vibrate. WhatsApp group ya familia iko busy, forwarded many times. Message inasema huyu candidate ni mpoa. Group nyingine inasema si mpoa, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. We are back from the break, the much needed break, because of the heat that was in the room already. And I hope my panelists are now energized to continue with the conversation. Thank you, my audience, for being patient. And those that are online, thank you also for staying tuned. Karibuni sana. I'm going to read some of the comments that are posted on Baringo Online. And I'm just going to go through some of them. And I'll start by Mheshimiwa Honorable Senator Harold Kipchumba. He is saying, good job. Yator Saure is saying, very good conversation. The way we elect leaders in our county is so much influenced by the population culture of leadership. Willie Musa is saying, we beseech you to give to Rebi Sebe as request. We don't have numbers, but we have you. Asante sana. Now, I think that is where we're going to pick our conversation from. Let us continue. We have Honorable Evans Mundulelbet saying, worthy conversation, great talk. Isaiah Biwot is saying, unless we stop the handouts and church Harambe culture, which fuels corruption and puts lots of pressure on candidates to donate what they do not have. I think we are going to touch a little bit about the Harambe culture also. So we have an endorsement that we have online, and we also have the Harambe culture. Let us continue. We have Bramwell Koech saying, amazing discussions. This is good start towards 2027 elections. They say the first step is to solve the problem to solve a problem is to acknowledge the problem, then find solutions to the root cause of the problem. And only by changing approaches, then we can change outcomes and the desired outcomes in this matter. I believe our people, good people from Baringo, have learned that actually politics affects us directly, and another mistake means we enroll to resilience and perseverance class for another 5 years. Do we have another 5 years to persevere? That is a question we should ask ourselves. Amkich Karanja is saying, great debate. Amkich.
We had one with him last year, and it didn't end very well, as he's saying. we almost terminated the debate before it ended. Continue.
Yeah,
it's good to have him watching this debate.
Thank you, Amkich. Sam Roberts is saying, the day we shall empower the common voter to choose policy makers over mediocrity, that will be the beginning of development. Superiority battles have since taken center stage in Baringo. Good conversation. Finest is saying quality, and he has given us a tick.
That's nice.
So I'll read more comments as we continue. So we pick it from there. Let us vote for this candidate. We do not have numbers, but we have you, the people of Baringo. Let us talk.
Let's take it off. I think the candidate you're talking about is from which community?
From Tiati constituency.
Yes,
or is it
as I
sub-county?
said, what I was saying was we need to balance.
Tumefika ile season ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate.
The question is this person equal to the task at hand? You know, I talked of the axes and the allies, the cousins and that kind of thing. Is it because a candidate was fronted by a certain leader, that is why we should vote them in? Or is it that this candidate actually has the interest of the people of that constituency where she represents at heart? It could be a situation where this somebody was picked because of their own networks, and maybe there's something special that needs to be sorted out, and the politician saw some strength in her that would assist him make a kill somewhere else, or even win his seat. You know, a politician is always sly. You have to be very sly. You can say, give me women. Then the whole of Baringo, you know, when you go back, you say, but in real sense, you did not want that person. You just wanted to lock a certain constituency. So if it is in good faith, let that lady, the Rebi, come on board. She should be in such forums. We should be getting our comments. What is our take on what we are discussing? Are we making sense in this kind of discussion? Are we talking sense, or is she part of the identity team? Are we going to vote for her just because she comes from Tiati? Seriously?
Yeah, sure.
I am a strong proponent for affirmative action, but it should be measured. Yes. It's time. I believe it's time for us to send something to Tiati. Maybe, if not the women reposition, maybe so that we show that we have inclusivity. Maybe we give them a deputy governor or something like that. I am a strong proponent for that. But the person you are bringing on board, does that person meet the qualities that we so much desire? Yeah, that would be me.
Thank you so much. Lillian, what do you think about political endorsements?
We have seen that, I can say that, how do we come to actually know these people? How do we come to know about them? It is actually through endorsement that a big person, or I can say a person with senior position, will come and introduce these people and say, now this is the leader we have. This is the right leader. And to me, I can say that the kind of influence that these people have, the person who is endorsing this person, it kind of influence the votes, the way the people perceive about these leaders. And also, I want to add up on something that the culture, also the tradition when it comes to the passage of right. We really appreciate that we have very good rights that are of benefit to women. But there are some other rights that are very harmful. And I can also call it that it is actually retrogressive. And it is something that you cannot actually separate communities from this. It is something that they have believed, and it is something that they want to go along with it, that a woman should have undergone something for them to be a leader. And you will find that they will say, who is that? Is she qualifying? And I'm speaking of the cat and all that. Is this woman a real woman? Because if you did not undergo the cut, you are not a real woman. So it is actually something I can say that it shouldn't define the term woman. Who is a woman? Who is a lady? To me, I think it is more about that. We shouldn't look about what our traditions say, what our culture say. It is about what this person brings to the community. The issues, I'm going back to the issues, about our community, about the interest of women, about the issues that women face. Yes.
Jepsoy, far from the women representative position, can women lead?
Absolutely. They do. Remember, we Africa had the first female president, Johnson Sirleaf, and we have our neighbor, Mama Samia, in Tanzania. So it is very clear. Even during the Bible's time, Queen Sheba was leading in the northern part. You know the lady who overthrew the Italian regimes. Is it Senatra, or what is the name of this lady from Egypt, who managed to influence election in Italy? Cleopatra. Cleopatra managed 2 regimes in Italy, and she was from Egypt. So, and you know what happened in the Bible and the fruit. So you it is very clear that those are part of leadership. Yeah, if you can convince Adam to eat the forbidden fruit, I would take that's part of leadership. But let me go back to the issue of zoning and political convention that we had talked about earlier. It is something that can be done, but it's also very dangerous. We've seen what has happened before in the elections in Baringo County. We know what happened in the last election when we wanted to pick a women rep. When we reduce the engagement of electing a woman rep to how she looks and if this is old one or this is a bit new one, and we're missing completely the point, because this person should be somebody with rational mind who will be looking at these children and the people with disabilities. It is a serious seat. Probably people might not want to. Unajua jamaa wanasema hii ni kiti ya kina mama, and that stereotyping of that post, it belittles the position and look like it is so small, while otherwise the intention is different. And I will tell you, if what Kim had just said, if we are to pick from the minorities, the Nubian, the El Chamus, the Ndorois, the Kikuyu community who are in this place, the Luo community, the Luya community, and other minorities, the Turkana communities, if it goes back to the leadership, the stewardship of the leadership. If the governor is picked after the nomination of the party, if I get that one right, if the governor intelligently picks a deputy governor from TRT, solves the question. If the governor is in own intelligent council, picks CECs from TRT, or picks a Nubian as a CEC, picks a chief officer, not picking them because of they contribute something on the election. And it goes back to the formula on how we distribute our resources in this country. Apart from, we've now reduced the contribution formula of what Janet contributed to my election. The formula that we're using, Janet, to me, is discriminative. The formula of 30 wards, getting the same share. Eldama Ravine ward getting the same ward with Tirioko ward. You've put them at a periphery and at a disadvantaged position. And when you build that disadvantage of that person for long, that mentality of mimi ni mtu ya kuonewa, it is very difficult to get that one out until when you see people from Chati saying, mumekula sana, sasa tukiwapatia senator, mutupatie women rep. It's like marriage, which should not be the case. So if the equity part, not equalization part, is affected from the top level of governance, it will work for us. If we change the formula of ward funding, let's practice the equalization. What do you call it? There's this fund that's coming in, equalization fund that's coming in. It's supposed to mitigate these formulas, so that if for example a community from a Nubian community, because you can't nominate everybody from the Nubian community. If one person is nominated from the Nubian community, it's a significant to show symbolic that the minority have been represented. But doesn't say that we are feeding this small community with that one plate. Yeah. It is what do you call stereotyping and missing the whole point. So the point is, if we are to elect a governor today, because if you ask me, we've always missed the point, and the people are the one contributing to these things. When we go back and say Nikama Janet, Nikama alikuwa mzuri, and then we bring him back, and then we go back, then I don't think it's about the people. It's about the elective members of the county assembly, or the governor, or the senator, or women rep. It's about us as a people picking the wrong fruit from the bouquet.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I like the fact that you brought the issue of equality, equity, and the share of the cake. Election is just one day. For 2027, it would be 10th of August. And governance is every day. 10th. It would be 10th next year. Yeah. And it has to be Tuesday. And governance is every day.
Correct.
What do you think are some of the mechanisms that citizens can employ to keep these elected leaders accountable throughout the 5 years that they are in office?
It's all about social audit. What Backsoff is doing now, it's social audit. I don't want to say some part are failing to do the social audit. It's about the social audit. Do our people prioritize what belongs to them? And of course, the way we manage our financing in counties, it has many levels. From public participation, it goes to the level of managing the funds. Do we have these funds? And then those funds come in. So it's all about following up and educating our people. Because I can tell you, if we don't really do these debates, and I would suggest, since the Backsoff and the team have decided this, we should take these debates to get care, to chini ya miti. Tuende mpaka Kipcherere, ile miti inaitwa nini? Simo tu ya mani. Let's go to that Simo tree, have this conversation with Kim and Kiptui and myself and you, with Kim being an MCA, the three of us being members of county assembly. You want to be an MCA. Do you know the responsibilities? Do you know the primary oversight responsibility of an MCA and the secondary responsibilities of the Senate? Do you understand your roles? Ama utaanza kutuambia nitalete barabara, nitalete maji, nitalete, you know, sometimes it's a tired thing of saying nitawalete, unalete kutoka wapi? You know, sometimes when somebody says nimewaletea, did you sell your land? You know, it doesn't make any sense. So I think we need to take this conversation to our people. Otherwise, tutakula ile biscuit yenye Kim alisema.
Asante sana. And Kim, you'll take it from where Chepsoi has left. And to addition to that, there's this issue of affirmative action. You've spoken about nominations. While doing nominations, is the issue of character brought into check? Is the issue of competence brought into check? Is the issue of capacity brought into check? Because we are doing nominations, we'll nominate you because you are from the minority community. But do you have the character, competence, and capacity to be in that position? Or is it a reward? Let's talk about that.
Truth be said, let me start with that. Truth be said, the current clique of nominees, in fact, for the last 3 terms, they've been rewards. Let's be very blunt about that. If you ask me, I would be able to tell you, I know a bit about some of these people, and I sometimes I wonder, what does the party look at? Because you sit down and then you wonder, the party has sent Fulani to be a nominated member representing a certain group. Then this person sits in the assembly for 5 years representing a certain category of persons, and there is nothing that person has done for those people for the 5 years. You know, at worst, what they should have done is just convene one meeting, one county hall meeting for that clique of persons that they represent, so that at least we say walishika mkutano with the persons they represent. So these guys don't do anything for them. They don't move any business for them. Even when they are, for example, when we are doing budgeting, let me give you a perfect example. You know, the people who should be knocking the tables when the budget is being passed are the nominated members. Why? Because they represent a specific group. Because the elected leaders will have sorted themselves through the ward fund. But who sorts the youth? Who sorts the PWD? Who sorts the minority? Who sorts the women? It's these people we call nominated. Now the problem is, the way the party does this thing, it depends on how loyal you are. I brought about that point earlier, that it's one of the key barriers to us going towards issue-based politics. Because we don't look at the quality of the person we are moving, as long as ni mutu yetu ya chama. And then to make it worse, if you look at Baringo keenly, if you look at the current setup of nominated MCAs, they would be cronies. At best, they would be family members of the guys who got elected. If I'm elected to be an MP, if I'm elected to be a governor, if I'm elected to be a senator, or I'm one of the important MCAs or the speaker, I front my list of persons I believe should be in the assembly. At what point do we get a chance as, for example, party members to vet that person? So I was thinking if, because the president now is on he's going for his 2nd term, and if he wants the best, he should create a mechanism for UDA where the party members have a forum to decide on who gets nominated. Because the party members would have a say, they would own it. Because for him, there would be nothing he loses. Because both ways, 2032, he'll not be there. So even if he kicks you out, there's no problem. But for us, it means everything. If you have a person nominated for 5 years, and that person does not represent your interest, you've lost it for 5 years. You wait for another 5. For example, let me give you an example of the PWD, for example. When you are pushing for budgets to be moved, to be enhanced for PWD functions, and you have a person who is not pushing that agenda, you know, PWDs will just be there. Permanently, it will be an item on the budget that there is PWD empowerment. But there is nobody who is pushing through to ensure that even if it's passed in the budget, has it been rolled off? Is that project being implemented to assist the PWDs? Or is it just there on paper? So that's a critical thing that we need to do. We need to create a mechanism. In fact, we need to push parties to create a mechanism where the nominations can be subjected to some kind of vetting. Because as it were, as long as ulipe ile ya chama 200,000 na ujuane na mtu, you are sorted.
Lillian, the issue of Arambes, the issue of handouts, has come out strongly from the conversation. Do you think Harambes and handouts is to hold the electorates, twist the electorates, or is it us, the electorates, that are holding politicians to a bait? If you don't do it, we will not elect you. Or is it that I gave you, you should elect me?
Speaking of that, I can say that it is actually something that it is a norm that whatever you have given us, that is how we can measure you. If you are there everywhere for the Arambes, you have given us this, you have given us that, you are the right person. So to me, that is what measures the kind of the leader that we are actually looking up to. And it is so bad that even as now, as we speak, we know the kind of people who actually contribute more, who actually attend all these Arambes. And we are actually like, this is the right person. This is the person we are going to run with, because this is the person who is always present. But coming to think that as the leaders, as these leaders, as these aspirants, how if I secure this seat, how am I going to actually recover whatever I've given to you? Am I really going to focus on the services, or I'm going to focus on whatever I had given you? So that is actually something which is very clear, and that is the kind of politics people is actually discussing, like especially I can say the elderly.
Yes.
We have really seen the presence of this person. Is very helpful, or she's very helpful. Do you think this is the person that we can actually vote for? Yeah.
Thank you. Chepsoi, the power of the pocket. How does it speak to the elections? And moving into 2027, is the heaviness of your pockets a matter to discuss, or is it issue-based politics that we are going for?
Yeah, let me tell you, 2027, in my own estimation, will be the most expensive election ever, probably. Maybe in future election we might see. But this is going to be the most expensive, from the president position to the lower part. The story of Chamanbuch euphoria might, not unless you're very lucky, unless you are absolutely very lucky. So this election will be very expensive because of many factors: the economy issue, and of course the mentality that there's no free lunch. So so definitely the issue of money will play a bigger role, and in fact kwa ile gumzo mtaani wenye tunakuwa na kina Kim and my team who are panelists here, you can hear the discussion from the people. Nani anaweza kuwa governor? Fulani ni jamaa mzuri, lakini hana kitu. And I don't know how they classify those guys. So huyu jamaa kweli anaweza manage kuwa governor? Ako sawa, ako na pesa, ako naye. In fact, candidate number 1 na number 2 nasikia ako na biashara Nairobi, alikuwa mtu fulani. So you can listen to the conversation. Actually, the pressure comes from the people themselves. That if I don't get something from you, or affiliation, you can meet guys now that I can tell you. Sometimes I pity the youth, the Lillian and the team, because sometimes it is going to be very expensive. Yeah. Because if Kim is ni mtu ya fulani, then even to listen to him sometimes, unaambia wewe uko na maoni mzuri lakini si wewe ni mtu ya fulani bwana, you know, and those, it's going to compromise a lot of things. The moment you start saying fulani ni mtu ya fulani, it compromise and it draws alliance. people aligned to where the pocket is. And I can tell you, very few leaders we will elect based. If you don't have the pocket, I'm afraid, Kim. I'm afraid, Kim. The issue of the pocket, the issue of the biscuit, it might be added some sodas out of it. And I can tell you, it is going to influence a lot of things. The issue of clans is going to influence the election. The issue of where you come from is going to influence this election of Baringo County. If you're from Eldama Ravine, if I'm a candidate for governor, if I want to be elected the governor 2027, I have to look at Eldama Ravine first. Because Eldama Ravine is around 70-something thousand registered voters. Okay? And then Baringo North follows, and then Baringo Central, and then you go to Tiati. You know the conversation around here, and we have to be very, very honest to ourselves, Kim, is there are some blocks that you say, kuna mahali Janet, kama hauna pesa, you can't get any votes. Unaongea na wale wa jamaa kina Kim kwa ground na kina Lilian kwa ground, who can be agents in the Tibilikwe and the Kemeles, a polling station. And I can tell you, that is the issue of money. And if we don't do oversight as civil society and the media, I'm telling you, this election is going to be compromised a lot on the issue of the pocket. So the issue of clans and the region and the money is going to play a big play in this election, in my own perspective.
Kim, I do not have money, but I bring to the table character. I bring to the table capacity. I bring to the table competence. Which way, Baringo?
I like being honest. And we are talking about Baringo. I earlier alluded to the issue of the biscuits. And I saw the seriousness with which our people are taking it. I thought it would be a small group. I went all the way to Kabarnet High School to have a glimpse of what was happening. And I can tell you, it is an animal.
Yeah.
And you see, what propels this culture of handouts? I want to to blame a certain group. We need to blame our so-called elites, our professionals. They are not doing the job. Because these guys, we took them to school. They know what should be done. They know what other people are doing differently. But they come back here, they don't want to tell us what is happening. They only give us examples that, oh, Kiambu is prospering. Oh, Makueni is prospering. But they don't want to tell us what is behind the success of Makueni, the success of Kiambu. You see, when you talk about, when you come to a place like Baringo, we are still competing on names like Simba, She-Goat, Lioness. In counties like Kiambu, they talk of Wamatangi. The guys who deliver you, because he gave out tanks, you know, there is substance. Unasikia mwingine ni wa maji, mwingine wa iria, wa maziwa. Yani, people who have changed people's life in a certain perspective. Lakini sisi, bado tuko bush. So it's a big problem, and our professionals are not doing us right. Let me be very honest, our professionals are not doing us right. The fear that is in our professionals, I don't know what is the problem. These guys, once they leave Kabarnet, they only come back to endorse. I know they are listening. They only come back to endorse. They come. These guys don't want to rub anybody's shoulder. These guys will come back and say, oh, si tumeona, si tumeketi kwa Nairobi, na tumeona, fulani anatosha kuwa governor. Tunaona, fulani eri fulani. That is the narrative that's killing us. And you know, for example, because we have very high illiteracy levels, we have high poverty levels, and then there's also that culture. We still believe that those people who went up ahead of us in terms of education would have more say. They know what should be done. So, wewe kama huko mahali kama huko mwisho inaitwa chess. Kuna place inaitwa hivyo. Kuna mahali huko Tiriogo inaitwa chess. And you have a professional mwenye ako Nairobi, anafanya kazi bank. Unajua that guy determines everybody mwenye anakuwa elected huko. Because akifika weekend, anakuja anasema haya tu. Let's sit on under a tree, and then he now gives a chronology of what is happening in Kenya. These guys take it for gospel truth. And that is the Kenya that we are going to have. So this guy tells them, From my analysis and from the analysis of us professionals, we've seen Fulani should be MCA, Fulani anatosha MP, Fulani. But the key thing is, he passed by Fulani's house, he was given something, his transport, or even the car he's using, was paid for by that person, so that he comes and endorses it. So the weakest link in terms of how we, in governance in Baringo, is the professionals. Because if the professionals would take the bull by the horns, we would be talking differently. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. It's good that you've spoken about the elites and the professionals that we have. Now, we do also have the diaspora team, Team Australia, Team US, Team London, Team Netherlands. What role do they play?
Coming from Baringo Central, I think there is a very strong influence of the diaspora in Baringo Central. Because most of these guys in the diaspora, especially the US, remit to their close buddies and relatives. And some of them have even taken the initiative of maybe initiating some community projects. So when these guys tell us that this is the way to go, that is the way we'll go. And that is why we are seeing, for example, in Baringo Central now, we have upwards of 12 persons who want to be contest for MP. And of the 12 or so, we have about 3 who are from diaspora. We have 3 specifically from US. So a question would be asked, why wouldn't these guys converge in the US and agree on one person to send to Kenya instead of coming all of them at once? So you are seeing there is still a disconnect because each of them, for their own selfish interests, wants to come and contest a seat. It's not actually about us. It is about their own selfish interest. Because if they were interested in us, they would have a sitting there and agree amongst themselves who is best to come and contest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would like us to shift gears now and come to the audience in the room. Which way Baringo? And when I ask which way Baringo, I would also want to hear from our audience online. What is your take of today's conversation? And just answer the question with us. Which way Baringo? A microphone is going to come over and give us your comments. And maybe just to ask you, if there was one thing that should be addressed by an elected leader come 2027, what would it be? And what is it that would matter most to you? Asante. We can have a youth, we can have a woman, we can have a gentleman. Please, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Janet Nandwa. My name is Evans Barsangol. I come from Baringo North. I'm also a budget champion, member of BACSOF, and a youth leader as well. And to the question to pose to us tonight, which way Baringo? And first of all, I want to speak on the issues of tribalism here in Baringo. And I think that's an issue. To me, it's a thorn in the flesh because for the recent years, since the onset of devolution, we've had at least one community dominating the entire county in terms of leadership. And it has sparked a lot of questions online and even in the ground. My take is, I'm from Baringo North, and coming from Baringo North, we also have our own issues there because I come from Mosop, that's Kabartonjo ward, and I also have the issue of Soin, the Mosop and Soin. So it's something that needs to be addressed because in terms of leadership, if you come from Mosop, for example, if you don't have the numbers, then you're going to be elected, especially for the seat of the member of parliament. Now coming back to the entire county, I think for me, moving forward to 2027, we need to have a negotiated democracy. So whereby not only one sub-county or sub-tribe taking all the bigger positions. We need to have negotiated democracy. For example, the issue of women rep, which can be maybe from Tiati or Eldama Ravine or Baringo South, and then maybe senator. Of course, we have the senator from Mogoto sub-county. But I am not limiting that negotiated democracy just because we should have from some sub-tribes. We need to elect leaders who have the interests of the people at heart, not considering necessarily where they come from, But if you get the leaders from, of course, across the county, then it will be better. Number two, I think on the issue of gender, Article 27 of the Constitution speaks about freedom and equality and of course discrimination, equality and discrimination. In Baringo County, we only had, I don't think we have had a member of parliament, a woman member of parliament being elected. It's because of of course, the diverse cultures of here in Baringo.
We've had one.
We've had one.
Had Helen Sambile, honorable.
No, I'm speaking from since the onset of the new constitution, and I think that's something that should be to look into, because it's so unfair not to elect a woman just because she's a woman, which comes from a certain community. I think the drafters of the constitution, in their wisdom, brought in Article 81 of the constitution, Article 81B, to mitigate the issue of gender, to that gender principle rule, that not all members of elective or appointed body shall be of the same gender. And I think it's because of that you have the current position of the women rep. Actually, the women rep position was designed to mitigate the issue of that gender principle rule. The women rep member of Jamatea sits in parliament with the members of parliament from Baringo North, Baringo South, Demoravin, Mogotio, and Baringo South. She's a member of parliament. Not only to mitigate it, to govern the issue of that gender principle, but I'm looking forward to, in future, having women being elected. Not only because this is a reserved seat for the women of seat for member of women rep position. Thank you so much.
Allow me to ask you something as a young person. What is the biggest barrier that the youth in Baringo County are facing in politics? And how do you think we're going to change the conversation? How do you think the narrative is going to change?
I would say the issue of youth being elected has shifted, the narrative shifted, because currently the senator, we have the youngest senator in, not only in Baringo, but Kenya, the entire country. That's a young person. Chimite is a young person from Baringo. And to me, I've seen so many young people being going to elective positions, especially the MCAs, the members of parliament, even for the governor position. We have young people vying for these positions. To me, I think Baringo, we have that narrative. Someone has talked about the issue of handouts. What do you have? If you don't have money as a young person, are you going to maneuver around, to go from one ward to another just to seek for this elective position? Remember, it's very expensive just to move around from one place to another. If you don't have the resources, you cannot even go like via motorbike. Lazima fuel motorbike. Do you have the capacity? Do you have the money to go around? You when you go to talk to the people, you can sit down on the people for only 20 or 30 minutes. Mtu anakuambia unakaa na sisi for 30 minutes hawezi pay kitu. Like, so far there are things that hinder the young people from going for these positions. Yeah. But nonetheless, I am very impressed to see the young people going out there and talking to the people. Now, please elect me. I can change this country of ours.
Thank you so much. We can have comments from another person. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Asante sana. My name is Enoch Talam. I'm from Cabernet Ward, a youth leader, and I'm not such a good or a polished speaker, but I will try my best. There is something I want to pick from what Jackton Kimutai had said, and he was engaging the young lady. Is it Lillian? Yeah, about what's special about this current generation compared to the previous generations. And number one, I will say that there's nothing special, but according to the way Jackson was tackling that issue, I have a different opinion, because the biggest issue that is facing us as a generation right now, it is the generational gap. And the reason is because we are having some sort of confrontation, or let me say differences, because when you hear someone like Jackton trying to imply that in their days, because of maybe lack of constitutionalism, maybe they faced more or difficult times compared to us in our generation. I'll argue that is not. It's actually it is not. It is not that important, and I don't see why you're having that conversation, because you see, we have when you want to blame it on technology, that right now the youths are appearing to be more bolder, just because of technology. That is not, I don't feel like that is a reasonable argument. I feel like instead of us having that conversation, instead of us having that back and forth, we should engage in a way which we, both generations, we can bridge that gap, and the best way possible is by us accepting, first of all, that we have to be accommodative, that yes, things are different, but we don't need to have that conversation, because when we're having that conversation, we are switching away from now the issue-based politics that we're talking about, because right now we are having a generation where we feel a bit patronized, because when we're trying to do something, someone older will try to insinuate that nyinyi hakuna kitu mnajua in our days. But now you see, in 10 years to come, we will be calling today the golden days. We'll be calling today in our days. We went to the streets, we took it to the streets, that is in 2024, and this is what we achieved. Also on matters gender, I want to agree with what Barsongol raised. I foresee a future, or rather I wish for a future where we don't necessarily elect leaders, especially women leaders, based on the constitution, or based on the 2/3 gender rule. I want us to be able to accommodate the women, for us to have women vying for various elective positions, and for them to also articulate their agendas, their manifestos, and being elected without us having to. I feel like we are forcing women into leadership. We are not even empowering women, we are forcing women into leadership. That is my controversial opinion, because right now we have several nominated leaders. We have several nominated leaders who are women, but who are not fundamentally doing the work that we sent them to do there in the let's say in the county assembly, or even in the national assembly. So if we have a leadership structure where now women, or not just women but everyone, you go to the field, you ask for the for votes from the people. If they elect you, at least we'll know that you were elected based on meritocracy, not just because you knew someone, or maybe because you're a woman. And that is the reason why some women nowadays in leadership, they are being I don't know how to put this in a way that will not be so controversial, but most of our women, I feel like wanadharauliwa, because now people will look like, for example, I know many people will not find this thing to be popular, but let's say even the woman rep position in Baringo County, we have sexualized that position to the point that the criteria and even the parameters that we use to elect our leaders, and I feel for even the women that are holding those positions, because if you see, we have always been having one-term women reps, because you ask for that position, but you later come to realize that it's not what you actually wanted, because and most of the criticism is coming from men. It's not even from women. And also, we are deviating from now the issue-based politics. Another thing, so I had written some points so that I would not forget to mention. So allow me to just read it, and then you finish. Okay, sawa. Now on the issue of Baringo, which way Baringo? Is it age, identity, or issue-based politics? Now, on issue-based politics, number one, I would say that yes, we want issue-based politics, but with a capital but. Issue-based politics begins with fundamentals. A county that cannot guarantee road connectivity, food security, and security cannot sustainably debate higher order governance about issues. My reasoning is that, you see, we have not yet catered for the fundamentals, for the basics. Like, for example, we are still having conversation about security in Tiati, in North Baringo, and even in Baringo South. So how can we talk about issue-based politics when we have children not going to school, we have children dying of hunger, we have young girls facing FGM and other other difficulties or problems that we should not be talking about in the current point and time. Also, on matters identity politics is a dangerous path unless it is rooted in shared citizenship rather than tribal affiliation. And this is affiliation. And this is actually a very fundamental issue, especially here in Baringo, because right now, we have, every time we are having a political debate, we must discuss about a role, we must discuss about a certain community. So it means that we are still very behind. Also, so that I can wind up, our people are not informed, or maybe they lack information. So, when we talk, right now we are talking about Singapore. And the president has really emphasized on Kenya moving forward to become a first world country, or bridging that gap. But when you go to some places here in Baringo, they don't even know who is the president, because they don't get the information. So even when we are electing our leaders, we'll not be electing them because of based on information. We'll be electing them because of who was present at that time. So let me cut it at that, so that at least I can have another chance. If I get another chance, moderator, I'll add more. Asante sana.
Thank you so much for your comments, your opinions, and the questions you've asked. They are very fundamental, and I think you've also challenged our minds to think which way Baringo in a different way, in a broader way, in an enriched way. We can have an opinion or a suggestion from a lady in the house, or any other person that would want to give us an opinion. Or I can go online if my audience have decided to take a break and take a few more comments from my online viewers. And there's a very interesting discussion that is happening online, and I wish we would talk about it. Tuk ambulance. I think it's a good conversation coming from online audience. And someone is asking, rada na ambulance ya tuk. Someone else is asking, is just saying, tuk ambulance. So I think it's a conversation we need to have, and maybe we can hold that thought as we continue. As Kedong Valley is saying, I wish this governance be a appointive position, vetted by the county assembly. That way, they will be accountable to the people. Constitution should be amended to make county assembly to have more powers in oversight. Kurui TK is saying, kudos to the moderator. Thank you, Kurui. Now here we are. Maybe the question we were supposed to ask, where are we, Baringo? Then we ask, where are we going? But we do know where we are, right? So, Nancy Toek is saying this is a good conversation. Congrats, team. As voters, we need to ask ourselves, what plans does each leader have for our community?
Tumefika ile season ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa. Wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. Lakini lazima uzikaribie ndio zisome. Maji, kazi, barabara na hata sijaongelea soko la campaign. Alafu
because of the cultural perspective. Like Chepsoi talks about regimental culture. Josephat Kokoyo is saying, nowadays, the election aspirant no longer value citizen issues, but work harder to dish out tokens and bribes, limiting citizen power to make the decision during elections. I pray that if IEBC implements no power of money policy in the campaign, no one can complain.
Tumefika ile season ile post post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate kubwa. Wote wameandika maendeleo watafanya. Lakini maji, kazi.
Us. Tuk-tuk ambulance.
I understand we are the first county to procure a tuk-tuk ambulance. Personally, I look at it from a different perspective. I look at an attempt to try to downscale or to bring to the lowest level delivery of health services. The only problem is, why take it to Tiati, where there are the road network we know is very poor. If that tuk-tuk was to work best, it would be in a place like Marigat, and then you seclude it within the CBD where there are roads, because at least you can reach a facility within a shorter time. But when you take it to a place where we all know the road network is very poor, that is demeaning, in fact, to the people of Tiati. I think already they should be shouting, because that is another attempt at marginalization. Why don't you buy an ambulance for them, a proper ambulance? Why give them a tuk-tuk? So the thinking was good, the idea was good, and then that is the problem also of relying on things from other people. You know, that was a donation. So a donor will decide what to give you. And that is the problem that's also Kenya is facing. Because we rely so much on donors, they dictate their terms. So even for the counties, you get a donor tells you, oh, we will give you this. What problems do you have? You tell them we have problems in health, problems of mobility. They don't know the situation that you are in. Because let us just look at it critically. You are in a place called Kokwatoto, and you want to reach Tangul Bay. And then there is the tuk-tuk ambulance. For example, if it's a mother who wants to give birth, will the mother really reach Tangul Bay from Kwatoto? For example, even from Kadingding to Chemolingot, will they be able to reach? So I think the person who thought of taking that thing to Tiati may have caused the problem. Maybe if it was even it was retained maybe in Cabernet to serve the lowlands, maybe. You look for a place where there is a proper road network, then at least you can talk about it. But knowing the kind of roads we have, and then also the stability of that thing, with the kind of roads to Konayo.
Chipsoy.
Before I ride on the tuk-tuk that my colleague has mentioned here, I want to appreciate through you, Janet, as a chair, Mr. Philip Koech and Mundulil. I remember the conversation of the Senate, and I want to say this, Kim. This conversation with the aspirants and the debates that we will be doing, it's not about the winner. It's about us putting our leaders into a scale, putting our parameters on what we want as a people. Such debate is very important. I would encourage those who want to contest, please come forward so that we don't eventually meet another monster after the election. And I want to appreciate Mgich Karanja, of course, is also watching, and of course, Senator Kipchumba Errol. On the issue of tuk-tuk, I'm part of the media who covered the story. And in 1 hour's time, it was a very good story. In 1 hour, in 2 hours' time, it was something else. This donation was from Dandelion Africa. And Dandelion Africa is, of course, doing a lot with the Department of Health, training CHPs, and of course promoting maternal and childbirth in Baringo County for the last 10 years, actually. And of course, and a very important thing out of that meeting, Kim, is apparently there are 5 hospitals in Tiati, if not more, who are permanently closed because there are no drugs, there are no personnel. There are about 5 hospitals, Camarillo, yeah, not Ngoron, but there's another, actually around 5. These hospitals, Dandelion Africa, was supplying pharmaceuticals and non-pharmaceutical items to those hospitals. Among the other items was a tuk-tuk ambulance. And the idea, I think, Kim, the problem here is about communication in the county government. If you look at the communication in the county government and even national, you ask me if the communication department in the president office, if my good colleague Hussein Mohammed was doing the debrief from the office of the president, it will save a lot of embarrassment from the president perspective, and also in the county government, is how did such a thing happen? It means there was no communication problem. This took to what we were told was meant to be given to an old man called Robert Aule. Robert Aule is a known ile jamaa anazalisha kina mama anaitwa a birth attendant. So this man amezalisha akina mama 700. Yeah, that guy is a serious gynecologist. I'm telling you. So this guy amezalisha kina mama 700. So one of those meetings when Dandelion Africa were going to TRT, they met this old man and they were really sympathetic of what he was doing. So this old man asked them, can you guys become innovative? And then Dandelion Africa thought of giving this tuk-tuk to this Aurela guy. The issue of launching it at the county government, I don't know what happened. If you ask me, it would have been better if you hand over that tuk-tuk to Mr. Aule. It could have made sense because it was benefiting him. Then number 2 is the issue of what Kim said. Mutu ya kuomba hana chake. Mutu ya kuomba wanasema anayetafuta achoki. Kachoka kashapata. So the issue is if you rely and to be honest with you, we have issues with the health department. And that's a practical thing. That is why this tuk-tuk became a serious nightmare for us and became a bit embarrassing to all of us. Because why? We have a problem with the health department.
Thank you.
So, and if you don't have a road that is accessing that place, and I saw the MCA, my good friend Locales, saying, went back to the same issues that I talked about, the funding to these wards.
Yeah.
If you fund the same amount of money of water to Eldama Ravine, where there's plenty of water, Nani Island, the same amount you put it to Silale. Then if you give this guy a tuk-tuk, even if it was in good faith, anaona hii ni ile madharau bado inaendelea, you know, and it backfires in a big way. So it goes back to how do we manage our resources?
So
yeah, and something very interesting. If you look at that tuk-tuk, inside the tuk-tuk, what is there? The bed, there is a lot of items that is not actually found in most of the ambulance that we have in the county. So I don't know. It goofed. It went so wrong. I feel so so embarrassed and so sorry to the county government. They have to take it that it's an embarrassment. You should not, Janet and Kim. We cannot be moving from one mistake as Baringo County to another. At least we need to learn our own lessons.
Thank you. Thank you. Lillian, let's take it from where Chepsoy has left. The tuk-tuk is well equipped. You cannot even compare it to the ambulance that we have. Do you think we should look at the bigger picture? That at least we have this? Or we should go back to the question of tuk-tuk ambulance?
Okay. I think it is about the priority. Ambulance is actually meant to address the emergency response. And speaking of the tuk-tuk, how efficient to addressing this emergency response? And I'm just going to give one example to how will it actually address the issue of the maternal mortality rate. Assuming that person down there in Tiati want this ambulance, the tuk-tuk, to just, I can say, carry her very quickly to the nearby better health facility, that is Marigat, or that is Kabarnet. How long will it take for these tuk-tuk to reach them? Will it really serve that purpose? So I'll leave it to the edge.
Thank you so much. We're coming to a close of our conversation tonight. And I'm sorry because time is never on our side. when we have these conversations. Today, I'm here hosting Chepsoi. Chepsoi is always like, 30 seconds, Mheshimiwa, 30 seconds as we finish. Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Thank you. Today it's so difficult for me to stop him from talking because he has a lot to share. So as we come to a close, I'm really sorry, my audience. 30 seconds. Are you going to keep it at 30 seconds? Please, 30 seconds. There's a burning issue here, so 30 seconds. And your time starts now.
Oh, thank you so much, Janet, moderator. I think I should comment on the issue of ambulance. And on that note, I want to give you what an ambulance, or how it should look like. Number one, an ambulance must have a medical equipment, oxygen, ID stretcher, first aid supplies, IV kits, monitors for heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen. Number two, trained crew, usually EMTs, paramedics, or nurses who can stabilize patients, give meds, or communicate with the hospital. I think, to me, what I can say is the issue of tuk-tuk ambulance, which was launched yesterday, was an insult to the people of Baringo. Because how do you expect that ambulance to serve the people of Baringo, especially Tiati, considering, of course, the issue of road network? Number two, the hospitals which are there, are there medicines in the first place? If, for instance, an issue of snake bite occurs, does that ambulance going to solve that issue? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And will you keep it at 30 seconds? Please.
Okay, the issue of tuk-tuk, I think the main issue here is just cheap populism. Because you see, as a vehicle as such, or let's say just tuk-tuk, how can a whole deputy governor with all the other stakeholders come and launch a tuk-tuk? I know, yes, Dandelion had a reason, had a very good reason, and I am glad that Chepsoi has explained it to the people so that they can understand what was the essence of that tuk-tuk. But now, when you're having a deputy governor, a whole deputy governor, flagging off a tuk-tuk, it was supposed to be handed to either a chief or, let's say, the gynecologist, the local gynecologist, wangempa yule mkunga pale Tiati badala ya kuja kuiflag off hapa kwa ofisi ya governor. Because now I feel like it has become a problem, especially here in Baringo, that many politicians, we are just looking for that we are looking for that photos so that we can go and caption, today I was privileged. But what is there to privilege when you're having such scenarios? So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Today, Chepsoi, I've been put on the hot seat. 30 seconds, Mheshimiwa. Thank you, Mheshimiwa. As we wind up. So as we wind up, as we finish, I would like for you to give a closing remark in 30 seconds and maybe answer the question. All the elected leaders, what is that one thing you'd like them to address in their manifesto and in their campaigns and during their elected period in 5 years? What is that one thing you want addressed?
One thing, reduce the list of things you promise the people. Make it 2 or make it even 1. And if you can deliver on that, I am absolutely okay with that. Then number 2, let's have this conversation. That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lillian.
The one thing that I would wish all the aspirants will actually factor in, either in their manifestos or their plans, is actually health. Healthcare is a real issue in Baringo. It is a real issue. So that, to me, that with that, I think will be far as Baringo. And kwa vijana, to ensure that tuko kadi na tusikue tu kadi, to ensure that hiyo siku ya kupiga kura tuamke mapema sana, turauke, chague viongozi.
Thank you so much, Lillian. Kim.
Maybe just to kick off, there was an issue raised by my brother Enoch that we were deviating in our conversation, discussing how our age, what it was during our time. Actually, I was just bringing to light what used to happen then. It was not meant to be part of the conversation. That was on a light note. So kindly don't take it personal. On the issue of the take home, for the people of Baringo, the kind of thing that I would want us to see going forward, she's mentioned health.
Yeah.
I also want to emphasize that health is very critical, because when you are healthy, you can be productive. But in addition to health, I want us in our manifestos to capture inclusivity. Because when we look at most of us, we are not inclusive. That is why we have that issue of person saying, oh, sijui kuna ROR, sijui kuna TRT. What if we are inclusive? These issues of saying, what do we do for the youth? What do we do for the women? What do we do for the marginalized? What do we do for the minority groups would not arise. So let us be inclusive, and let us all know that Baringo, the good governance that we expect in Baringo, will not come by us electing people based on their identity and where they come from. It will depend on what qualities they have, period.
Thank you so much, Kim. And we've come to the end of our discussion today. And allow me to most sincerely, hey, Boda guy, you've decided we are not finishing the discussion. Anyway, as we come to the end of the discussion, allow me to most sincerely thank the Center for Enhancing Democracy and Good Governance for giving us this platform to have this conversation with support from Uraia. And also, allow me to thank you, my panelists, for being here. Thank you for feeling like this is a safe space. You said we should have these conversations more. I believe we should have more of these conversations. And I want to thank you for your insights, for your valuable contributions, and sharing your hearts to us. Our audience, asanteni sana. You've been the audience that Chepsoi would want to have in future, not the ones he had last year. And to everyone that joined online, asante sana. Thank you for keeping us company. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your opinions. Thank you for your questions. This will go a long way to shape the conversation that we have. So today's conversation has just reminded us that election is not simply about choosing leaders. It is about choosing the future and the Baringo that we want. So if there is one message for us to carry home, it would be this, that good leadership begins with informed citizens. Because if we're not informed, really, how do we choose good leaders? And also, when we choose leaders based on integrity, on competence, on character, on capacity, on merit, let's put it in short, accountability, and the issues that matter most to our communities, we strengthen our democracy and also improve service delivery. Let us continue to have these conversations in our homes, in our places of work, in our churches, in our markets, and among the youth, the young people, among the women charmers. Democracy is not an event. It is a continuous responsibility. On behalf of the Center of Enhancing Democracy and Good Governance, on behalf of the Baringo Civil Society Organizations Forum, thank you for making time to be part of this important dialogue. My name is Janet Nandwa Ongoli. Thank you. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and let us continue advancing uchaguzi wa utu, citizen-centered and issue-based politics for a better Baringo. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and thank you so much. God bless us all. God bless Baringo. Asanteni sana.
Tumefika ile season ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila kona unaona smile na jina ya candidate. Simple, huyu wetu ndiye anatosha. Unaingia mtandao kuscroll kidogo kidogo, videos na mapicha. Kila mtu anasema yeye ndiye ako na ukweli. Lakini ukweli ni gani? Kuna aina tatu za information zinaweza kuchanganya watu. Ya kwanza ni misinformation yenu. Ni uongo mtupu. Which mtu anashare akiamini ni ukweli. Ni story kama ati candidate fulani ameiba pesa na wewe una forward bila confirm juu unaona kama ni legit. Ya pili ni disinformation, which ni uongo unaosambazwa makusudi. Mtu anajua ni uongo lakini anaituma kukumanipulate. Hii ni kama kutengeneza fake video, fake poster ndio watu wachukie candidate fulani. Ya tatu ni malinformation, yenye iko na ukweli but unatumika kwa njia kuumiza ama kudanganya mtu. Ni kama zile stories za kuchukua story ya kitambo ya mtu ama personal information alafu inatolewa time ya election time ya kuharibu jina yake hata kama si relevant kwa issue za wananchi. So before uamini ama ushare information ya politician kwa mtandao, tulia kidogo na ujiulize, hii story ni ya ukweli? Usikuwe mse wa kuforward as received. Stop, think and then share. Tuangalie issue zetu na facts hii election. Tumefika ile season Ile post ya stima sasa iko na posters kama 50. Ukitembea kila